Welcome to the Make the World a Better Place podcast. I'm your host, Shanice Harris, and this season we'll meet leaders with connections to Girl Scouts serving in our community and beyond. Together, we'll hear stories from Girl Scout alum and their adult supporters who are making the world a better place using their courage, confidence, and character. This is the Make the World a Better Place podcast. Hello and welcome to the Make the World a Better Place podcast. It's your host, Shanice Harris, and I'm here with a dynamic duo, Deirdre and Martha-Ann Wells. Deirdre is a volunteer who's been with us for 14 years, and Martha-Ann is a Girl Scout senior who participates in leadership experiences with us, and we've watched her journey as she's grown over the years. I've invited them here today to share a bit about their journey as a duo in Girl Scouts. I want to hear from Martha-Ann a bit about her leadership experiences and a bit from Deirdre about what it's like to lead Girl Scouts, especially as they get older. So, without further ado, welcome both of you.
Hello.
Hi there. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for coming out today. So, I want to start off with asking you, Martha-Ann, a couple of questions. Can you tell me a bit about your experience thus far as a Girl Scout? I mentioned you're a senior. How many years have you been in the program?
So I've been in the program. I'm celebrating 10 years this year.
Yay!
Yes, I joined when I was in kindergarten as a daisy, and I joined my older sister's troop, which was Troop 1539, and I've been a Girl Scout ever since. I've kept going.
That's so fantastic. So what have been some of your favorite troop activities you've participated in?
So definitely some of my favorite troop activities is when we love to go on day trips, and we go and we kind of jumble together like museums, and sometimes we'll go on hikes, and we'll go to little eclectic shops, and it's really exciting because you get to explore a new city, and you get to see kind of what life is like outside of the little bubble you live in, and it's only a couple of hours, so at the end of the day you get to come home, and I just love doing that with my troop. I think it's so fun. We sing songs, and my troop mates are some of my best friends, so it's a really exciting experience when we get to do day trips.
That's one of the best parts, is that it's a group of your besties, and I agree with you. Going on day trips, journeys together, familiar faces, but in new places. I did not plan that. Did not plan that rhyme. So I think that's really awesome. And I'm sure as you've gotten older, your interests have changed. What initially attracted you to Girl Scouts, would you say, when you were super young?
So I remember when I was really little, I had my mom's old Girl Scout sash from when she was a Girl Scout, and I had this patch on it, and it said Future Girl Scout. And my sister was a Girl Scout. My brothers were involved in scouting, and I just always wanted to do scouting. It seemed so fun. Like, you got to get all these badges. I remember the worst part of my years, my brothers would go. They would do this cross Appalachian mountain hike. And it was the horrible part. They'd be gone for 2 weeks, and I remember thinking, well, I need to join scouting so they can know how it feels to have somebody leave you for that long, because that's not okay. And so I joined scouting for revenge. No, I thought my sister's troop was just the coolest people ever. She had such good friends. They were so funny. I just thought they were amazing, and so I wanted to have that.
I love that it's been a family journey, kind of being part of a bigger mission, but missions to make the world, your community, just the larger existence of humanity a better place, whether you're doing something small like picking up litter, or you're working on one of our highest awards projects. So this question's for you, Deirdre. Can you tell me a bit about your experience as a volunteer? I mentioned you've been with us 14 years. Has that all been with this council?
It has been with this council. I've been a leader, and for probably the first 7 or 8 years I was the leader, and then morphed into more of a co-leadership situation, which is fantastic. Two bearing any burden is always fantastic. I've been a cookie mom, a cookie leader. I'm not sure what the term for that is now, but several times, enough to know that I thank anyone who wants to be the cookie person, because it's a lot. I'm a member of our service unit's volunteer service team right now, and along with my co-leader, we decided to share the program and events coordinator position. So we have planned a couple of day events for the service unit. I think we were asked to plan encampment last time,
Yes.
which we then made an exciting adventure for the girls to earn a badge, and they planned it, and we just executed it, which I think is the perfect recipe for how to make an encampment work. That way you get to do what you want to do at the encampment, and I just had to figure out how to execute it. And really just watch these girls grow. Two groups of girls, because I got to watch my older daughter, who is now 20, and she started in first grade, and I was a leader for her group as they morphed through the program. And then again, starting over with Martha-Ann's age group. And it's an amazing honor to watch young women figure out the world the way they want to pursue it.
And you watch how that transforms. When our Girl Scouts are younger, they need more help, but as they're older, you mentioned running their own meetings, planning their own trips. We're just here for the logistics sometimes, and it's fantastic to watch that journey. And speaking of the journey you've been on, Martha-Ann, can you tell me a bit about what's kept you engaged now that you're an older Girl Scout? I know that it's been very fun with the trips, a leadership experience. Are there any unique things that you found that you just don't think that you would have experienced otherwise?
Yes, so I love this question. So when we were younger in our troop, Daisies and Brownies, we would have like little smaller leadership roles, like handing out the snacks and things like that. But as we've gotten older, we've took on bigger roles. We love to teach badges in my troop. We get, at the beginning of the year, we lay all the badges that we can earn that semester out on the table. And we have these sticky notes, and it's you walk around and you put your sticky note on something that you'd be willing to teach or co-teach with another girl. And it's really exciting because you get to plan activities that your troop will enjoy and you want to be able to do with your friends. And you practice your public speaking skills. We get up and we give these presentations to provide the information. You have to coordinate and run the whole badge, and it's really fun. It sounds like a lot of work. It's really not. You have like a lot of those steps kind of prepped for you, and I really love doing that as an older girl and teaching my peers, but sometimes we also mentor younger girls too. You mentioned planning the encampment, which was really fun. We planned the encampment for our service unit, and we made sure there were lots of field games and activities for them to do that we know we would have enjoyed as younger Girl Scouts. And so that's a great thing about having young women lead sort of in the Girl Scout movement, is we get to remember things that we love to do and make sure that the next generation gets to do those as well.
I appreciate your commitment to passing the torch. It's such a big part of the legacy of Girl Scouts, a sisterhood. Even if we're not the same age, we can still all learn from each other.
So one of her earliest years in Girl Scouts as a Daisy, she and her Daisy friends attended an afternoon celebration that was planned by her sister's group, who were cadets at that time, and that was their take action for a journey that they were working on together as a cadet group. And so they had planned this Juliet Gordon Low celebration, which had relay games and crafts and singing and general mayhem at some point. But by the time you and your friends were probably 3rd, 4th grade, you were asking us at meetings, when is it our turn to plan? And we had, at one point, I think we invited another Daisy group from another group. and y'all did a little bit of mentoring with them or helped them out and did some crafts and activities with them. Sort of the Brownie LIA or Journey Assist. There's a badge at the Brownie level, or excuse me, at the junior level for helping brownies.
I think it's the Girl Scout Way.
Well, that too.
Okay.
No, it's a junior badge that you earn for helping brownies, and the name of it escapes me. I apologize, but they were very excited to try and earn that as well. They wanted their turn to be the leaders.
I think it's fantastic that you saw girls who looked a lot like you did and you were inspired by them and said, I can do this too. That's fantastic. So, Deirdre, as girls get older, it's a little bit more challenging. Their time is limited. What are some of the challenges you see older girls facing regarding involvement? And in your opinion, as an experienced leader, how can we address these involvement challenges?
So, speaking from my experience, and only my experience, some of the things that we've noticed, balancing their varied interests. We want girls to show up at every meeting, but at the same time, we want them to explore their opportunity to be on their school sports team, or their opportunity to be the lead in the play, or to learn, horseback riding, or whatever it is that their interest is. So, learning to balance their varied interests, offer them a space on the times that they can come, and then maybe finding out how to offer options for participation. I see that you can't come to the meeting. We're going to be learning about this topic. It's going to involve this action. Can you do the action on your own time and bring your experience of that back to the meeting next time? I know that you can't be here. So a lot of it is balancing the time. We had to, about a year ago or so, move our meeting time and day of the week, because weeknights are full and Sunday afternoons seem to be good for everybody. So now we'll meet on a Sunday afternoon because everybody can do that one and we can get the participation that way. One of the other sort of challenges that I see, especially when they get to about middle school and up, is a little bit of peer pressure. Oh, you're still a Girl Scout? Aren't those second graders? That sort of mindset that it's just about selling cookies, and why would you still be in it? And I think some of how we, I don't want to say combat because that sounds too combative, but a way to address that is, where are your friends? If your friends are still in Girl Scouts, then what do you and your friends want to do together? And so meetings take on a little less badge work focus and a little bit more, how do we put some social time with a little badge work? Or how do we put a little badge work into a lot of social time? Whichever way that goes. So, and then pointing out to them how some of the skills you earn and learn as a Girl Scout pay off. Martha-Ann actually wound up getting a summer job at 14.
Yes, I did. He was very excited.
Because we had friends that run like a little mom and pop kettle corn company. Well, they wanted Martha-Ann because she can run
a cookie booth.
She can handle customer service while money is flying and cards are tapping and there's a line, and she can handle that. So it led to a job. Not many 14-year-olds can necessarily earn money, right? Usually that's 15, 16. So that's a way. So I have a couple more, but I don't want to take up all your time.
No, I love that you see the value of meeting our Girl Scouts where they are with their time, with their socialization. Right now, preteens and teens are reporting all-time high levels of isolation, so it's very important to get disconnected from our devices and get connected physically with each other. And even if we're not working on badges in our meeting space, we can go on day trips, experiences, do things together where we're learning, horseback riding. Get outdoors. I love that it is able to grow with you, and I understand what you're saying about the peer pressure, so it's important to invite your friends and show them what it's about. Bring some awareness to the situation, because there are so many opportunities. You mentioned you were able to secure a job before you would have even expected to. Girl Scouts are able to earn scholarships and awards as they get older, so the program really can make a positive impact on our teens' lives if they stick with us. So I touched a bit on this, Martha-Ann, and I think you did too. What role have you found that your friendships play in you sticking with being a Girl Scout and your troop experiences overall? How important has that been?
So my troop mates and I, our friendship together is definitely one of the most beneficial things I gained from being a Girl Scout. I've been with these girls, most of them I've been with since Daisy's, a couple of them trickle in over like early grade school, but we've known each other for a very, very long time, and having a constant group of people that you're friends with and that you know really well can support you through a lot of different things. So we've changed schools, we've had like family changes, and we've always kind of been a consistent friendship group to be with and to have fun with, and we love to have fun together. We do a lot of socializing at our meetings together. We love to incorporate like service into our meetings too, and so one of our favorite things to do is we love to make or like create like little cards or kits for something, because it's kind of like an assembly line, and then we can sit there and we can talk about we can put on music, we talk about pretty much whatever we want to, but we're still creating something that's helping someone some way. So I know we've done that. We've made cards for elderly homes, we've made period kits, we've made homeless shelter kits, just because we want to be able to do something while we have our conversations.
So if I can add on to that a little bit, we actually had, and feed into your question some more, 3 of our girls lost a grandparent within about 6 to 8 months of one another. And it was interesting to see them open up and talk about it in the meetings, knowing it was a safe place and knowing that this other person has felt it. And even the girls who hadn't lost a grandparent had some insights and some compassion. And so that's, again, I go back to using the word like safe space. There's very much a sense of I'm at home, I can sort of just be myself. I can also experiment a little bit. We have one young woman that comes in with different colored hair on a regular basis, and it's kind of a lot of fun. You know, what are we doing, and you know, why is it this color this
what's
week?
The vibe today?
What's the vibe? Yes. And knowing that she can do that and come in and be welcomed, you know, so it's been, again, just really an honor to watch.
I think my friendships in Girl Scouts have also really helped my empathy skills, because when you have a group of girls that you were so close with, and like a kind of a sisterhood connection, you empathize with a lot of what they're feeling, and so that helps outside of Girl Scouts too. When you meet people, you can kind of understand how they're feeling because so-and-so felt that too, and oh, I understand that because we've talked about that at my meetings, and I know what that feels like. And so that's really helped kind of create connections with people even outside of Girl Scouts.
Your peers may be going through something that you haven't experienced yet, or may, you know, never experience, but by having each other to lean on, as you mentioned, Deirdre, I just think that the sisterhood that you are both sharing about speaks very profoundly. And speaking of empathy, we did not mention this. I'd like to bring up your Silver Award project. Can we talk a bit about that? That was an
Sure.
awesome leadership role that you took on?
Sure. So I created a patch program for my silver award called Learn Change Period, and I created it for this council to bring awareness to menstruational poverty. I had seen it a lot in my schools. I had seen it outside of school, just in everyday situations where people don't have a pad, but it becomes even deeper when people don't know what is going on. It's kind of a silent epidemic, and it also feeds into the lack of general knowledge on women's health and periods in particular. And so I wanted to kind of bring this issue to girls' attention. And I created a patch program that led girls through different ways to connect with their community and make an impact directly, if that makes sense. Because it's really hard to take a problem that's worldwide like that and to look at it and be like, okay, let me solve period poverty at my Sunday meeting for about 3 hours. It's just not feasible. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to have the girls look at it in a way where it was, let me attempt to address this issue at the center where I meet, or at my school, or within my troop. How can I educate, provide for people who are going through that? Because it's a problem in our society. It's not talked about a lot, and so I wanted to bring awareness to that.
It's such a profound topic, and I appreciate you taking some time to talk a bit about that. I know that wasn't the topic of our podcast discussion today, but I just wanted to bring some awareness to such an inspiring Girl Scout, and I also want to draw attention to a volunteer who keeps coming back and keeps our Girl Scouts inspired by keeping them challenged, but also offering them, as she said, a safe space to lean on each other and grow through that sisterhood. Martha-Ann, Deirdre, I want to thank you for joining me today on today's episode of the Make the World a Better Place podcast.
Well, thank you again for having us.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone, we will see you next time. For more episodes like these, visit our website at www.gsccc.org.